So welcome to Top Talkers. I never thought I'd be sitting talking with three gentlemen about women's shoes. You know, stilettos or, you know, the different wedges that are out in style, but that has become the case because it's not now looking at targeting women, but we are now looking at preschoolers wearing high heels and wedges inside their shoes. We'll show you some pictures in a second. Michael O'Byrne joining us from CTV News at noon, John Brenner joining us from CFRA, and Jeff Hopper just did a really quick dash doing weather to be able to join us here.
Right.
So there's this new brand. They kind of look like Skechers. They kind of look like very fun, colorful, you know, like these little high tops. The problem is that you've got companies like Nike and Skechers and Steve Madden, Nine West, even Vera Wang getting in on some of these that actually have built in now wedges, so heels inside these shoes, and we are talking as young as preschoolers being able to get these shoes. We're going to show you a picture right now. So these are the shoes. See, they look really cute, very fun, has fun with the kids' outfits, but they've added these wedges so that these become high heels at such a young age.
Deplorable. Absolutely deplorable. I don't have a granddaughter, I have a grandson. I hope I'm going to have a granddaughter someday, and I sure hope that the marketing doesn't affect, you know, my daughter from going out and buying them, because as a grandfather, I'd never buy it. You know, kids have got to be kids, and that's just the psyche of it. But what it could do to their bodies, how it could affect their knees and their hips growing up. My heavens, kids don't need to be a couple of inches taller. They're meant to be little.
We spend so much time as parents with our newborns and learning to walk and establishing these really good shoes, right? So that we get them in a great pattern, and then within 4 or 5 years from now, we're ruining all of that.
Well, there's a message here, okay, because if you're looking at a career choice right now, orthopedic surgeon, good idea.
Good point.
You know, the seriousness of it is, I think it's twofold. They're the physical aspects of it, but we're asking our kids to grow up in so many ways a lot faster than they ought to. I don't see why we should have to worry about height and dimensions now, too.
Well,
sorry.
No, John, asking them to grow up dissatisfied with themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, they're short people, they're tall people, they're in between people. We're wide, we're thin, we're all over the place, and that's just kind of the way it is.
But these shoes, I mean, for preschooler ages at one point, right? It kind of go up to maybe 8 or 10, but the sizes are as small as preschool.
As small as preschool.
They're supposed to be little. They're not supposed to be tall.
What it kind of got to me too is what a high heel does. Why women wear high heels, right? It shapes the leg, it gives us a lift, it changes the dynamics a little bit of our legs, and so there's a. I don't want to say there's a sexuality to it, but there is in effect, and I don't want young girls thinking that. I mean, it's one thing when they play in our closets and run around the house in our high heels, but it's different when they're heading out on the street in public.
Who are we doing this for?
Yeah, good question.
You know, is it the
marketers? It's for the marketers. It's for.
But the marketing's interesting on this because it's marketed toward the moms, not necessarily the kids. They're really focusing on moms and saying, you know, because dressing up your daughter is really fun, and now you can get these cute little shoes. But I hope that people are thinking about some of the things that come along with that, some of the messages you're sending, and then of course development. What about your, like you've already mentioned, what about your spine? Like that curves your back, and why, you know, I just don't understand why being 2 inches taller and changing stature adds confidence. That's part of some of the marketing statement.
toddlers and tiaras?
Yeah, you're right.
It's right
you're
here.
right.
We're going mainstream
It
now.
was yeah, but it was supposed to be a sideshow. That show. We watch it because of the train wreck. We don't watch it so that it's in our
Do
you know,
all
department
people watch
stores
it that
right out.
way?
Maybe so many people got into the tent and marketers said, you know, there's a market out here that we haven't tapped in. All of these closet parents who are saying, you know, I don't know.
It scares me. Can I ask another question to all of you? Peer pressure. So, you know, you don't want to get it for your daughter, or, you know, when Natalie was growing up, what happens when she comes home and 3 out of 5 of her friends have it, and she's like, you know, but all the kids have these, and this is the it thing to have. Why can't I have this?
That's where parents have to learn that there's a 2-letter word that you got to say to your kids every now and then. No.
Right.
No.
Yeah. I'm comfortable
you guys
with.
are parents, you know.
I'm
We've got to
comfortable.
say it. We're all parents.
Comfortable with my child not being happy with me.
By the
I'm
way,
okay with that.
How much
I'm
do these
serious.
things cost anyway?
Well, in Europe right now, because we're looking at very high-end designers, they're going as high as $770. However, so I mean and we can see that happens a lot in the European market.
Yes.
It's very, very different. But they're starting. These are popping up now. When you've got Nike and Skechers, these are a decent price point that you're not looking at spending hundreds. You're looking at, you know, spending an average pair that you would spend on a Nike or a Skechers shoe. But now you're seeing it, you know, priced at with the added heel. I wouldn't have known had I looked at that shoe that there was a hidden wedge in it.
I understand that children are consumers, and we see that, and marketers can see that, and it's big dollars. But what about you know, changing that consumerism to your look, handbags, and these heel shoes? I liked better when My Little Pony was what they were consumers of. You know, like there is a chance somewhere to be a child, right? I don't know if business, if it should come in regulation or if business can regulate itself, but I don't think it can. The profits are, you know.
Of course it can't. The only thing that regulates business is profit, unless you get regulators to come in and intervene.
I think it's fair to say that this is the thin edge of the wedge.
Wow, nicely
You know?
done.
Yeah.
I think we'll wrap it with that, something to think about. And if you're walking by the stores, maybe double check exactly what it is that's on the inside of those shoes. That's your Top Talkers. Thanks, of course, to our
Lianne.
panel.